All right, so today we're doing a deep dive into something pretty fascinating. Um, have you ever heard that Charlie Chaplin, the silent film guy,
Hmm.
gave this really powerful speech?
In The Great Dictator, right.
Right, exactly, in The Great Dictator. And we're looking at this analysis that kind of breaks it down, why it's considered so powerful. So it's an interesting, right? Because you think of Charlie Chaplin, you think of like slapstick comedy, silent films,
The little
The
tramp.
Little Tramp, exactly.
Guy Waddle.
Yeah, and then he gives this, this incredibly serious and moving speech.
Right, like what's going on there?
Yeah, it's a total shift in tone. And that's actually one of the things the analysis highlights. It's like this unexpected kind of juxtaposition that makes you really sit up and listen.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, this is the guy who makes us laugh, and now he's talking about, some pretty heavy stuff.
Right, exactly. And, one of the big things that he talks about in the speech is this call for unity and compassion,
Hmm.
kind of urging people to recognize their shared humanity.
Yeah, it's all about, like, we're all in this together, regardless of our differences.
Exactly. And he even goes on to condemn dictatorships. There's this one line that really stood out to me in the analysis. He says, dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a powerful statement, especially considering when the film came out.
Right.
I mean, The Great Dictator was released in 1940, right when Hitler and Mussolini were in power, so Chaplin was directly challenging those fascist ideologies of the time.
Yeah, and it wasn't just about that specific moment in history, right? This whole idea of dictators enslaving people while claiming to liberate them.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that pattern throughout history.
Oh, absolutely. Like in so many different regimes and power structures,
Yeah.
across all different time periods. It's crazy. It really speaks to how power can be misused to control and oppress.
Yeah, it's kind of a chilling thought when you think about it. And this analysis brought up another thing, and I thought this was super relevant today. It's Chaplin's warning about technology.
Oh, yeah, how it can lead to isolation.
Yeah, he argued that technology could actually lead to isolation and a lack of compassion, even in times of, material abundance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about what he was saying. He was talking about how machines designed to make our lives easier might actually end up separating us from each other, right?
Right.
Like we become so focused on efficiency, productivity, all that stuff that we forget about, basic human connection.
It's so true. And I feel like we see this play out today with social media, with the constant barrage of information. It's easy to feel like you're connected to the entire world, but you're actually disconnected from the people, right in front of you.
Exactly. It's like this paradox, right?
Yeah.
Technology can connect us in ways that we never thought possible before, but it can also create these new barriers to like genuine human connection and empathy.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about how Chaplin saw this coming, like almost a century ago.
Yeah, he was ahead of his time.
He really was.
Yeah.
And, even though he's talking about all these kind of heavy things, the analysis also points out how he ends on this really hopeful note.
Oh, yeah, he totally does. He's like, come on, people, we can do this.
He calls on people to reclaim their power from these oppressive forces and to fight for a better world. And the way he does it, too, is so powerful.
Oh, yeah.
The analysis talks about how he actually breaks the fourth wall and directly addresses the audience.
Like he steps out of the film and talks to you face to face.
It's like he's saying, hey, I'm talking to you. It blurs this line between fiction and reality. And, he's not just some character, he's Charlie Chaplin, and he's making a statement. It's bold.
Yeah, really bold. For that time, I mean, to come out and say that.
Exactly. So taking it all in, it's clear that Chaplin's speech was so much more than just entertainment,
Oh,
right?
for sure.
It was a message about humanity, about standing up against oppression, and finding hope even when things seem, really dark.
Yeah, and you know what? It leaves us with a question, I think. How do we make sure that technological advancement goes hand in hand with moral progress?
That's a big one.
It's a huge question, and it's a challenge that Chaplin recognized, all those years ago, but it's even more relevant today.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Charlie Chaplin's speech. I mean, the guy was a comedic genius, but clearly he was also a deep thinker with a powerful message for the world.
Totally agree.
All right, that's it for today. Thanks for listening.